Alright.
Yeah, because when they fight, they fight like that. They cut you like that. Not like,
I'm actually gonna give me a sword, man.
Last day of high school.
I want to practice it. I'm so serious.
no, last day of last full day.
Yep.
For last full day, I fired myself out all the way up to this hour. I've been running around this whole school.
There. Say what up.
Pass this around the table. Okay, like you say,
I need to go back to the gym.
I had you. We played like full court. We finally ran full court on a real court.
I'm about to go in there.
I remember we
This
playing.
is not gonna be good.
What?
Me looking like this going in gym.
Like this?
Stop.
Woo. I have to the other way.
I'm killing everybody in Mortal Kombat, bro.
Yeah, my son has some funny times.
I want to fight you.
Stop it.
Come tomorrow. Hey, if you don't see me and Christina fighting tomorrow, don't be surprised.
Okay, guys. Few things before we wrap up our final and last ELA club day together.
Nope.
That's a lie.
Yeah, some of you not so much. No, that's not. Well, yeah, there's some.
I know where you forget about us.
Okay, so, here are my final words of ELA wisdom to pass on to the leaders of tomorrow. And Mr. Harden will also share his final thoughts. First of all, if you are rich, don't forget us.
Oh.
Okay? Send us money, check, cash, money order, any of the above good. I'd like a beach house in Newport Beach. Feel free to give me that. Minimally, a maid, just clean my house is good, whatever. Okay? Don't forget, though, to send us money if you get rich. All right, number 2. Over the course of the year, we've talked about leadership, and that's a broad topic with many obvious things that you can share. And obviously, everybody's going to have their own perspective on that, and Mr. Harden and I have shared ours over the course of the year with you. But here's my final thought that I'd like to share with you about leadership, if I may. As you go through life, you are going to be faced with choices frequently. And a lot of times, it's not easy to be a leader. And it's not easy to be a leader because, as I told you earlier about your letters, a lot of times we open ourselves up and we become vulnerable because when you become a leader and when you make that choice, with that comes risk. And there's risk in anything that you do that's worthwhile. And sometimes it's easier to be a follower because when you're faced with that choice, it's easier to go down the road that's already been paved for you because leaders before you have went through there and they've taken the risks and they've made those choices and they've made it so that it's a safe path to go. And although safe is nice, and a lot of times it's easy to go that route, to be successful, sometimes you got to take the bumpy road. And you have to be the leader who paved it for people behind you. And that's going to mean that you're going to fail. There's going to be times that you will fail. Because with risk and taking those choices will come failure. That's a part of life. But what you need to understand is that to be successful, you have to fail sometimes. So it's okay to do that as long as you pick yourself back up and you realize that that's a learning experience and you move on from that. So I challenge all of you to take those risks and not be afraid to fail sometimes. Because the greatest people in our history and the greatest people in life failed many, many times before they reached success. On a personal note, it's very easy to get caught up in life. and when you become an adult, there's a lot of responsibilities. And although those are important, I hope that as I shared my personal experiences along the year, I hope you've learned to that living life is part of success. Okay? Having fun is not something you should just do when you're a kid. It's something you should do your whole life, because it's really easy to get caught up in responsibility and wake up one day and realize, wow, I'm really not as successful as I thought because I'm not happy. So success is not just measured in how much money you make. It's not just measured in what kind of job title you hold. It's not measured in how many degrees you have. Success is measured in your ability to look at life and say, I made it, and I'm happy with what I've chosen to do. And I'm happy with the choices I made. So that's what I hope for all of you, that you find that success in that way. And the last thing I have to say is, a lot of us look back and we say, when I ask students, what do you hope from your life? And they say, well, I hope I never live with, I hope I have no regrets in life. And there was a time when I was about your age when that was my philosophy. I hope I live life without regrets. Now, after living my life, my advice for you is I hope you do live life with regrets. Because when you take chances and when you take risks and when you live life, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to have failures, and you're going to have stumbles, and you're going to have obstacles, and you're going to have challenges, and you're going to have hard times sometimes. And those regrets ultimately get you to where you want to be. And so sometimes we have to make mistakes. So regrets aren't a bad thing. They're a reflection on living life and making choices and taking risks. So although you don't want to have a lot of regrets, I hope you do have some, because it means you took those risks and you tried things and you lived your life. Mr. Heiser.
All right, I'll keep mine shorter, especially since Ms. Groveland left me like 1 minute.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, 2 things for you to think about. Never taught a senior class, so I've never had the opportunity to do this. I'm glad I have this opportunity. 2 things. One's a phrase, the other one's a word. And this first one has to kind of go along with what Ms. Grove said about happiness, or success isn't always about how much money you make. I firmly believe this. Be a producer, not a consumer. If you really want happiness out of life, be a producer, not a consumer. What does that mean? Most people go through their life being consumers. All they do is take. They take. What's in it for me? What can I get out of this? And when you live your life that way, you're not happy. True happiness comes from being a producer and doing things for other people and loving other people. You'll find much more happiness there. And along those lines, another word for you to remember: legacy. If you are a producer as you go throughout your life, what ends up happening is you leave a legacy. You leave a mark on the world. People know you were here. You did something for somebody. You made a difference in someone's life. Much better than just going through the motions in life and taking the whole time. So be producers, not consumers. Leave a legacy, leave a mark on the world. That's it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.